Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Zach and I are doing a discussion over Shobu, the beautifully challenging game by Smirk and Dagger. Yep. This is one of the very few abstract games I actually own. I want to start getting into them more, because I really like them, but they're so stressful for me.
Really?
I don't know what it is. I think it's more of like, especially in games like this, that I'm just like, I have to rely just on my pure intellect, and so if I lose, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm so stupid. So this one, That Time You Killed Me, and Onitama, I think are like this three
that you have.
The three pure abstract games that I have. And this is one you actually showed me not too long ago, and I think it's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
It's a small footprint game, like $20.
Yeah, I won't even say, like, they even tell you, you just need a board, a couple boards, even a pencil. You don't need to have it cut in.
That's true.
Stones.
In fact, you can probably,
you could play this with a checkerboard, honestly.
I was going to say that. I'm like, take a checkerboard, just break it in 4 pieces.
Yeah.
Go find a piece of yarn, and for some reason put it in between 2 boards. And
I do think it does help, because if you are, like, because you always were thinking, like, oh, I need to play on this board. It does help separate that in the mind, at least.
Yeah. It's...
Because to me, the kind of cool thing is...
I did the exact same thing.
Right. Because you play on these 2 boards for your move, and then you do the opposite color on either side. So it's always an L, no matter how you look at it. So if I play on white, I'm playing on those 2. If I play on black, I'm playing on those 2.
Yeah.
But I'm never playing on that side of the board, your side, which is where the rope is.
Yes, that is correct. And there is something... This game is so simple.
Yes.
Like, I'm pretty sure they could have just not even given a rule book and people would have figured it out. But, like, yeah, it's that one hiccup of, like, because you have to pay attention to all 4 the entire time. But you only get to initiate your turn on these 2. Because there are many, many times, every time we've played this, that I'm thinking, like the one we just played, where you're like, that's game. I'm like, oh no, you can move these. But I'm like, wait, no, you can't.
No, you can't.
I'm like, why is he calling it game? And then I was like, wait, he can't touch those.
And I realized when I was starting to lose was when I was only moving on my side of the rope. Because the problem, I have figured out a little bit just playing this game through a few times, is it's more important for you not to lose pieces on your side, because that's how you control movement, than it is on your opponent's side.
Right.
And so you can sacrifice a little bit more on your opponent's side of the board, especially if you're punishing them on their side of the board, where I was punishing you on my side of the board.
Yeah.
And that doesn't limit your movement.
Yes.
Where you were punishing me on my side of the board, and that started severely limiting my movement.
Gonna be completely honest, that wasn't my strategy. Mine was diversifying damage.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I got you down to 2 on that one. I'm not gonna... you don't want to hyperfixate on one board, even though that sounds contradictory, because that's how you win. But that's all you're going for. You're gonna clutter up your side a lot and be limited on movement, to where you're not going to be able to maneuver your pieces, especially on just one board. Like, if I want to try and just really focus on that, I can only do so much with this white board.
I'll say the only caveat to that, at least, again, just through my playing of it, is if you can eliminate down to 1 stone on one board, and the reason why that's important is because they have to be able to do a legal move from their passive attack to their aggressive. So if they want to do something on that passive board, but they can't do it on the board they're looking at, well, you got to choose a different action.
Then. I agree. It's interesting that you say that, because there was at one point, I think you got me down to 2 on this one pretty early on. And I wasn't too worried of going down to 1, because there was one move I made early on that I got in my own way.
Right.
And I was like, having 1 bead is kind of like having 1 checker. You're just like, I can go anywhere.
Right.
Versus, like, if you have your 4 pieces, like, I was like, oh shit, I can't get rid of that over there because I can't make a move over here. Right. But if you're just down to 1, now granted, if you have 4 stones versus my 1, you're gonna be able to clutter them up, and I can't do anything. But if if I'm able to kind of just maneuver around, this was actually the board that was going to help me win because I had less pieces.
Right.
And I had them in a spot. It's such brilliant design.
Yes.
Like, I don't really throw this term out a lot because I kind of think it's, I don't know, I can't think of the word right now, but this game is quite elegant, especially if you don't really like chess, which I don't, not because I think it's a flawed game, it's just been around for so long. When you have grandmasters in anything, I don't want to play.
To me, it's the good alternative. So it's for the board gamers who've played chess, who are tired of playing chess in a chess community, and they want that feeling that you got when you first started learning chess with players who were just learning chess themselves.
You wouldn't say Onitama?
I would say Onitama as well.
Okay.
I would say both. Like,
okay.
To me, that's what abstract games.
This gives me like Go vibes, but I think it's just because of the white and black stones. I've never played Go, and I'm really just talking out of my ass in terms of theme here, not theme, but in terms of presentation. It feels almost like checkers and Go mixed, whereas Onitama is obviously closer related to chess.
Right. My only thing with Onitama is there's a little it's one of those games where it feels like there's randomness involved because you don't always have control over the power you're using, but you don't
it's
know
perfect,
everything.
It's perfect knowledge. You don't have. You're never guaranteed an
move.
Opponent's power because they could just never use it.
Right.
But at least it's not like surprise. I can move like this.
No, and that's what I mean. Like, so again, it's open knowledge. Like, you see every move your opponent can make. Like, there's nothing in this game that says, and for me, that's chess. Where I'm like, okay, the logical move is going to move this, which is going to force me to do this, which means I should be countering with this move here. Now, each piece does everything the same, so it's got that checkers vibe.
I was going to say, when was the last time you played checkers?
Because it's been a while.
Okay, because I played it on the Switch. Like, it was like a party pack thing with a friend of mine a couple months back. It was miserable, because chess is a lot of like, you just hop back and forth. It's like, this is annoying. You just have to kind of move all your pieces to trap them, and then it's like, oh man, you got a king. How cool. Whereas this one, you can't really just kind of like, right. You can do a little bit of that, but eventually, because of the fact that every piece can move 1 to 2 squares,
it's limited with 4x4 squares.
And it's a 4x4, so it's like almost inevitably I'm just going to knock them off.
Right.
So,
yeah, controlling, like I'll say, so again, why I probably compare it to chess a little bit, controlling the middle is super important, just like in chess it is.
Yeah.
It's those type of things that I feel like...
these 2x2?
Yeah,
just cause
those 2x2, it's super important to control those zones because it's harder to get knocked off from those zones. And you're in a better position to knock off opponents more often in those zones. So to me, I compare it to chess. I've played chess a lot in my past.
I had a friend in chess. He always beat me, and there was one, and he did this actually a couple games. Why did I play games with him? Because he actually ruined Magic for me for a little bit until I played with other people. But the one time I was actually able to beat him, I was going to do a move, but then I didn't think it was legal, so I didn't do it. And then at the end of the game when he won, he was like, why didn't you do that move? You could have won. And it's like, dude, that's just good sportsmanship. Like, if you were losing, you could be like, oh, you could do that.
Right.
I don't know. It was like, they just really salted me on chess. It's like, really? Like, because people who play, like games, like competitive games, but they're like, oh, had you known this, this that you just didn't, look at, then haha, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's a balancing act of, like, it's hard to know what someone doesn't know versus what someone doesn't see.
Yeah.
Because, again, my opinion is, like, chess is a game where you might not see the right move. Like, I watch people, and it's like, why are you not moving that there? It would solve your next 4 problems.
Yeah.
And it's because they don't see it.
Yeah.
But it's not because they didn't know the rule. It's
and mine, it's been so long, I don't remember, but it's like, I didn't know the rule, so I was like, I didn't do that.
But, again, it's hard to know, like, if you don't know the person well enough, like if they know all the rules.
Well, I think I moved it and then moved it back.
Got it.
So he saw me go to do it, but he's probably like, "Oh, thank God he didn't do it."
Right.
Clearly, I don't care. But yeah. So this one, if you're looking for an alternative, from chess or checkers, or you're wanting to get
another abstract, open knowledge game.
The next step, if you're trying to get people who have only played those kinds of games.
Right, this is great.
I mean, I think, I'm very curious.
This is a game, you can take it to a coffee shop, you're going to play it well, it plays quickly. I don't think I've ever played a game that took more than 20 minutes to play.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're just super analysis paralysis. But again, this game is quick, fun.
$30 on Amazon.
Yep. It stores, you don't, the back box is honestly too big.
Yeah.
You could get a Walmart gallon, baggie and just throw it all in, throw it in your backpack for your traveling game.
I really like the presentation. Just something about these stones.
Yep, they feel great.
They could have been tokens.
They're nice weight to them.
Yeah.
They feel good.
This wood doesn't feel cheap. The rope is just kind of weird, but it does serve some small... Because, I would feel weird if it was like this.
Yes.
If it was I'd constantly be getting... I'd be like, I'm going to move over here. No, you can't move there. Damn it! I need a divider.
Right.
Almost a rope of some kind.
A rope.
Just it would fit the aesthetic.
Right. And that's the thing, we are joking about that. Honestly, it fits the aesthetic.
It really does.
It's a little hemp rope.
It's rock, wood, and rope.
Right.
Okay. Yep. The material building of civilization.
Yep. It's how board games started. It was a rock, a board, and a rope.
Yeah, I mean, chess was wood and stone.
Right.
Go is the same way.
Right.
I'd be very curious if anyone has actually gone to tournaments for this game. Let me know if there are actual moves or strats, because I will never play this in a tournament because I would just I already get stressed out about 1v1 games like this enough. Not so much that it doesn't become fun.
Right.
But for some reason, this is kind of all right, everything's set up. And then you're like, I'm going to do this and this. And I'm like, here we go.
Right.
But it's still super fun. And because it's so quick, if you had one, it'd be like, okay, yep. I can see how you did that. Here's where... Because it's also not so long that if you make a mistake that you don't know when. Chess, it's can go on for a while. That's I don't even know what caused me to lose.
Right. It takes a certain level. And I look back and I don't know exactly where I lost the game, but I have ideas of where I lost the game.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever just one particular move. Right. Because it is just so kind of simplistic.
Right. And at the same time, kind of complex because, again, you do a passive move, so you're not allowed to touch an opponent's stone when you do your passive move.
Yeah.
But then that dictates what your aggressive move is because it's identical. It's just on a different color board. Mm-hmm. And so now, and again, and probably one of the things I always like is you always have two choices. So your choice is either your left or right board for your first move, and then your color, which is up and down, on which is your second one.
That's true, yeah.
And so you have these tons of choices, but it's control choices. Mm-hmm.
And this game does what all great abstract games do, especially good 1v1 games. I feel like we played one recently that wasn't that great. But it's also what I did was, it's what move are you expecting me to make? And how can I subvert that in a way that's still benefit? Not something that's just so stupid. I'm just I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do this and kill myself. Right. But it's okay, clearly, you have to clear a board to win. That's the one that has the lowest pieces. But because there are times where it's I think I'm actually going to try and thin out all of it. Right. So that's why I started clearing this board, even though that had 2 and this one had 2. It's this one still had 4. There was one board I just kind of gave up on. Right. Even though that was my detrimental to winning this particular game, but it's how do I do? Yeah, you get rid of rocks, and then your opponent can't do much.
So again, I'm just talking through the rule book. So again, it's a 4-page rule book, which realistically they have a summary on the back page. Oh, and there's really no reason not to just do this.
Could have been a leaflet.
Yeah, I mean, it literally doesn't require almost anything.
Yeah, we played this for the first time, had to be well over a year ago. Yeah. And I remembered most of it. Right. And that sounds like I'm dumb, because there's 2 things you can do, but I remember the first time we played, I always wanted to move those pieces to go back to and it's nope, you can't do that. It's right.
Right.
But then it's like, oh yeah, a year later,
It's pretty straightforward again.
it's just so good.
So, yep, it's solid as an abstract game.
I think I even got this
solid.
at like Barnes and Noble on their half price. I think I might have gotten this for like $15 because they were doing their
they
buy
gave it
one
for
get one
much.
half. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
cheap. And the fact that it's from Smirk and Dagger is wild to me because they just had like if you look at their catalog, it's like, do they even have a theme? their games are kind of all over the place. But yeah, tournament players, let me know if there's chess-like moves where if they do this and they're like, the Stravarius effect. I don't want to play like chess where it's like, there's so many moves by grandmasters. I used to watch like grandmasters play.
Yeah,
and
I used to too.
I'm like, you don't have friends, do you? Like, you're difficult to be around.
Yeah, they have friends who are grandmasters.
Yeah, and there's like 2 in the world. And then the other one who wanted to be, and he had anal beads, so he could cheat in his tournament. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm going to get new rocks. I'm gonna modify these so they help me make the most optimum move. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Shobu?
It's a 10 for me.
10?
Yeah.
I might go with you on that. In terms of abstract games,
Yeah.
it's so good. If this was, and it's the perfect length.
Yes.
Like, it's not like it was 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes at max. And if you are playing with someone who is really AP, then just don't ever play games with them.
Yeah, or just, you already know that's going to be them, so you've already accepted the fact, and so it's whatever.
I would say, though, if this game was like 30 or 40 minutes, I wouldn't like it as much, but it's not.
It's not. It's the perfect amount of time, the perfect size, the perfect complexity for me. It's the abstract game that I'm going to. Like, people want to play an abstract, open knowledge game. This is the one I pick.
Yeah, this one, it's because you're involved the entire time,
right?
And it's not like you're still using your intellect, but it's not so like aught level,
right?
Where it's like unfun.
And there's
like,
not enough people who play it so much like chess, where I can go play other people, even in my game group, who've played chess in the past, who've memorized it because they're part of a chess club, and so then it's just not fun anymore. Where I can play this and nobody's gone and just learn tons of moves in my group.
You actually reminded me on something I was going to say, and it's exactly that. You can bring this out to someone who has never played an abstract game or very few, and they'd be able to win. They'd be able to be like, oh, okay, so I make a move on one of these 2 boards and just do the opposite color on anywhere else? Yeah, you got it. Cool. Do I have to knock all your stones off? No, just on one board. Okay, so where's the manual? There is one. There isn't one.
Yeah.
There isn't one. I told you all the rules. And then they're like, okay, and then they get it, and they win.
Thin down my thing and just rip this in half and do the summary.
Keep the summary on the back. That's honestly it, Because setup is just so...
I mean, let's even look at the summary. It is 3 bullet points for the first half, and then 4 bullet points. You have 7 bullet points. That's
the game.
I mean, that is prime marketing right there.
Yeah.
Okay? You go to a marketing event, it's 7 bullet points. It's done. This is what you have, everybody. Bye.
You know how to play. $30.
Yep.
So highly recommend this one.
Highly recommend.
So that's our thoughts on Shobu. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.